very special guest today is author Forlanda Anderson. We're going to talk about life, career, maybe some life experiences, and we might finally tell a few jokes. So let's get into it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So first question, who is Forlanda Anderson?
Forlanda Anderson is an author,
Okay.
a speaker, a spoken word artist, a business owner,
Okay.
a full-time grad student, and a woman of God.
Okay. Very good. Okay. So of all of those different branches, what would you say is the tree for all of those?
Of course, a woman of God.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
the tree. Elaborate.
Usually creatives have a main,
Mm-hmm.
and then everything else sort of sprouts from that. So what would you say is your main? Is it the writing? The
I would
spoken word?
definitely say the writing. The writing helps the wording and the speaking.
Okay.
You know? I'm just gifted at writing. I don't know.
Okay.
God just gave me this gift, and I'm using it.
Okay. All right. So what's it like being an author? I've met a lot of y'all lately, and so what's that? What's that like? Taking things basically from the air to the page. How does that work?
Being an author is amazing.
Okay.
It has so many benefits because I can use what I write to make an impact in someone else's life. And that's my main goal, is to make an impact. And I write things that people can relate to.
Okay.
They can help other people.
Okay.
And I get to meet so many amazing people when I do book tours and book signings. It's just absolutely heartwarming and amazing.
Okay. Can you remember either the first thing you wrote or the first thing that you wrote that made you decide this is what I'm going to do?
Well, the first thing I wrote it didn't formulate to me thinking this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
But the first thing I ever wrote was a poem. I was in undergrad, and it was a poem about a guy.
Okay.
And so I started writing, and it was actually really good. It was really good. And I kept that poem, and I can still look back on it and say, this is pretty good. I never thought about being an author or writing or anything.
Okay.
Now, that happened because of a vision from God.
Okay.
And when I got that vision, I had no choice but to be obedient and go down that road. And
Okay.
here I am now, an author of 3 books.
Fantastic. Okay. So what's your style? What's your writing style?
Well, my first book is Empowering Women Through the Storm.
Okay.
It's a non-fiction book.
Okay.
And it's basically a book to help women, and not just women, but everyone in general who is going through anything, any type of problem, any storm, whether it be financial, medical, physical, mental. It's just a roadmap to help them during their hard time, and just to help them to know that, everyone in life goes through storms at some point, It doesn't matter if you're black, white, young, old. And what matters most is that you're there helping someone else up when they're going through those hard times.
Okay. Okay. So your writing is a vehicle to help people. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. So spoken word. What's your area in the spoken word arena?
Spoken word, like I said, the very first thing I wrote was a poem. And I don't know how I got into it. I just know that I wrote some really good poems, and then I got on stage and I started performing. And I really enjoy it. When I get on stage and I perform my spoken word, the things that I write about is powerful and it's impactful, and people, I want them to feel what I'm saying when I do my spoken word. And that's exactly what I do. I just love it.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned your first book. What's your second and third book about?
All right, so my second is actually a children's book series, and it's a series on bullying.
Okay.
So that series focuses on self-love, self-confidence, and faith.
Okay.
Because bullying is just such a prevalent subject in today's society, and it just needs to be discussed more. And if I can help a young boy or a young girl through my writing, then look, I'm proud of myself if I can do that.
Yeah.
Because I want them to know that if they have self-love and self-confidence, it doesn't matter what anyone says to them or what anyone does. It won't result to things like violence or suicide because they have enough within them to withstand whatever's going on around them. So yeah, that's my second and third book. My first one is Bully Me Not, India's First Day of School, and Bully Me Not, My Faith Saved Me.
Okay, all right. So, do you put any aspects of yourself into any of your characters in your writing?
I don't exactly put any aspects of myself in it, but I'm more so focused on things that I know other children have experienced.
Okay.
Like my first book, the main character is India. And basically she goes to school, she's so excited about her first day of school, and when she gets there, it's nothing like she expected it. All the children were picking on her for her name, and she had to use what was in her so that she could not let it affect her. So in a sense, I could say that I'm like that character because I use my self-confidence and my self-love to not let anything that's going on around me or what people are saying about me deter me from what I know is true. So, yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right. So, the woman of God. Who's the woman of God?
The woman of God is a woman after God's own heart. God is He's my everything. Everything that I do is to please God. You know, if I am writing a book, if I'm performing, whatever I'm doing it to please God and not man. And I feel that if you're obedient to what God tells you to do, then you're on the right path. God looks for your obedience. And faith is my roadmap, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so I have to ask this, I can't help myself. The church, or either the organization or the construct, how are we doing right now? How are we progressing, or are we progressing in your view?
As a church as a whole?
Yeah.
I feel like we are progressing. I feel like it's at the discretion of each church, each organization, because one church may be progressing as far as leading people to Christ, but another church in a different city or a different state, they may be losing people, you know, about what they're doing in their organization.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like some places may be progressing a lot more than others.
Can you see any areas where we can be doing better as a body?
Yes. Well, I would say help those that are lost. You know, it's so many people out here that are lost, and so many people in the church that look down on people that are not like them or not at the level that they are in Christ. When we need people to pull those up, those lost individuals up, to help one another, to put and feed and speak life into them. You know, if we can speak life into the lost, then one day they can be found, and they will be found.
All right. So, are you originally from Nashville, or are you what's it called? Have you migrated in?
So I migrated in from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
I've been here for about 6, almost 7 years now.
Okay. Okay. What do you think about Nashville? Because it's changed quite a bit in the last 7 years. What do you think?
I actually really like it. I like it.
Okay.
I like it a lot. I like it. Okay, my Memphis viewers and listeners, and I don't want them to get mad at me, but I like it better than Memphis. I like it better than Memphis.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, women in business, women are doing a lot right now. So how do you see that? What are your thoughts about that?
I think it's amazing.
Okay.
I'm all for my women in business because we can do it. Just like men can do it. We can do it. You know, I feel that it's a growing field, a growing place for women, you know? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you mentioned performing.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you perform?
I actually haven't performed since June of 2019.
Okay.
I'm thinking about coming out of retirement because it's just something that I love to do, you know.
Okay. All right. So what's a show or a performance from you? What is that? What does the audience expect when they see you on stage?
When they see me on stage, I don't know what they expect when I come out. But when I open my mouth, I'm sure they're expecting to be uplifted, to be motivated, to be filled with what I'm saying, you know?
Okay. Very good. Okay, so we talked about Nashville, we talked about women in business, we talked about a lot of different things. So where do you see yourself heading? What's the end goal for everything that you are doing now?
I see myself headed in a direction where I am working for myself.
Okay.
I am actually just now launching my brand new Christian apparel line.
Okay.
Which this is one of the first designs, Purpose-Filled Woman.
Okay.
So I'm super excited about that. I'm headed in a direction that only God knows. And when He gives me the vision, He'll give me provision.
Okay.
So that's all I can say about that. You know, I'm going to continue to write books. I'm going to continue to, you know, work on my business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a full-time grad student.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the field of social work because I love to help people. So that's where I see myself headed.
Okay. Social worker. What's your area?
So my area is working with children.
Okay.
That's the population that I feel most led to work with.
Okay.
Children, they just warm my heart in so many different ways and for so many different reasons.
Yeah.
I feel that children, you still have time to help them. You still have time to help them to go down the right road and the right path in life and to help them with their problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because children, they have problems just like adults do.
Yeah.
And they need someone there to help them. And so being a social worker, I feel that that is imperative for many different areas, especially children.
Okay. So what's a couple of ways or a couple of areas that you think our communities can be doing better to help children? Because they're going through a lot right now.
I think that the community could be better in different ways. Like, for instance, last summer I began an annual back to school drive.
Okay.
That's something that's simple. It was a lot of work, but you know, that's something I did just out of the kindness of my heart. I put it together for children so that they can have school supplies, so that they can have the necessary items to start a successful school year. So if the community could just come together and just do things for the children, it don't have to be big, but just do something for them, help the children feel loved, because every child doesn't have, you know, parents like I had growing up. I had parents that were there for me. They loved me, they cared for me, they still do. And every child doesn't have that. So if the community could show children how important they are, then that would be tremendous. That would be great.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I totally agree with that. Yeah. So, advice. So, if someone wanted to either they finally decided they want to write a book or start a company or just kind of launch out and do what they believe they've been called for, what's a couple of things that you would tell them by way of advice?
Okay. First, I would say go for it.
Okay.
Don't let anyone deter you from what you have your mind set on, and especially if it's from God, go after that vision, go after that dream that they have, you know? Because one thing that I did, you know, when I first got the vision from God about writing a book and about being an author, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell anyone besides my close family. And I feel that when you go and tell other people things, for one, you might sound crazy to them. And for two, God didn't give them the vision. They gave the vision. He gave the vision to you. So it's for you to manifest that, you know? So don't go telling everybody what you're trying to do. Just do it, you know? And don't give up, because it will be hard. There will be a lot of things that you don't know. But if you don't give up and find the right resources and God will send the right connections to you, just pray about it.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Okay, so promotions. Do you have anything that you wanna promote today?
Well, of course, my new Christian apparel line. Christian apparel is just an outward expression of faith. And I'm just so excited about Purpose-Filled Woman. And I also have a Purpose-Filled Man shirt, so you definitely, I'm sure you can use one. I'll get you one. But yeah, ForlandaAnderson.com, everything is available there. My books, my apparel, booking me for author engagements, just everything. So yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right, that's all we have. Thank you very much for being a part of the
Thank
show.
you.
Look forward to talking to you again.
Yes.
All right.